Exploring India's pace attack, Bumrah, Siraj, and Akash Deep. Imagine a cricket world where taking 20 wickets still results in a loss. This is the paradox that India faced at Lord's, despite their bowlers' heroic efforts. The match, which saw England and India each claim 20 wickets, ended with England emerging victorious by 22 runs, leaving the Indian team to ponder what might have been. But here's where it gets controversial. While the Indian bowlers, including the likes of Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammed Siraj, and Akash Deep, collectively shone, the loss raises questions about the depth and reliability of India's pace bowling resources. How can a team with such talented fast bowlers still come up short? At Lord's, the Indian bowling attack was a testament to the power of teamwork. 6 bowlers, including all-rounder Nitish Kumar, contributed at least 1 wicket each. They managed to keep England's run rate, typically above 4 per over in the era of aggressive baseball, to a more modest 3.44 and 3.08 in the first and second innings, respectively. The pitch, with its varied bounce, certainly played a role, but the relentless pressure applied by the bowlers from both ends was undeniable. Leading the charge was Bumrah, a bowler whose unique action, characterized by the hyperextension of his right arm, a braced front leg, and a release point closer to the batsman, has made him a standout in modern cricket. Despite facing relatively flat pitches and softer Dukes balls, Bumrah has consistently posed a threat, taking 12 wickets in just 2 tests, including 2 5-wicket hauls. His accuracy and ability to swing the ball in favorable conditions have been key to his success. However, the harsh reality is that Bumrah, at 31, is not invincible. His history of back injuries means he won't be available for every test. In this series, he will only play one of the remaining 2 matches. This makes the performances of Siraj and Akash Deep even more crucial. At Edgbaston, with Bumrah resting after a grueling performance at Headingley, Siraj and Akash stepped up magnificently. They shared 17 wickets in a convincing 336-run victory, silencing critics and earning their stripes. Siraj's 6 for 70 in the first innings and Akash's 6-wicket match haul were particularly impressive. A curious statistic emerges when examining Siraj's record. In 24 tests with Bumrah, he averages 33.56 wickets. In 15 tests without Bumrah, his average drops to 26. This discrepancy, while intriguing, may not necessarily indicate a definitive pattern. What is clear is that Siraj is a formidable bowler, capable of performing with or without his senior teammate. Siraj's strengths lie in his nippy outswingers and a wobble-seam delivery that cuts back sharply into right-handers. His competitive spirit and consistent high-intensity performances add to his value. However, a hint of inconsistency has sometimes marred his overall output, though he would argue that luck hasn't always been on his side. At Lord's, for instance, he saw KL Rahul drop Jamie Smith on 5 and a close leg before appeal against Joe Root turned down. Beyond Bumrah and Siraj, the quality of India's pace bowling seems to taper off slightly. Akash, while showing promise at Edgbaston, faces the challenge of sustaining his form in the demanding environment of Test cricket. His injury during the second innings at Lord's, which forced him off the field, adds a layer of uncertainty. Akash's style and approach bear similarities to Mohammed Shami, another experienced fast bowler who, at 35, has been making a comeback. Shami's recent performances in ODIs and the Champions Trophy have been commendable, but his availability for Test cricket remains a concern due to recurring injuries. His future in the longer format may hinge on the development of younger pacers like Prasid Krishna, Arshdeep Singh, and Harshit Rana. The importance of a strong supporting cast in the bowling department cannot be overstated. A look at recent history reveals that India's success in overseas conditions, especially under captains like Virat Kohli and Rahul Dravid, was built on the solid foundation of a well-rounded pace attack. Bumrah, Shami, Ishant Sharma, and Umesh Yadav were instrumental in India's competitive performances abroad. Similarly, the trio of Zahir Khan, R.P. Singh, and S. Srisant played a crucial role in India's 2007 Test series win in England. While there's no quick fix to developing young pacers, the immediate focus for Shubman Gill and the Indian team is to build on the momentum from Lord's. Taking 20 wickets in their next test at Old Trafford will be crucial, as it always is in the 5-day format. After all, it takes 20 wickets to win Test matches, and the Indian bowlers are determined to prove that they can deliver. And this is the part most people miss. The path to becoming a dominant Test team lies not just in the brilliance of individual stars but in the collective strength of the entire bowling unit. As India looks to the future, the development of their pace bowling depth will be key to sustained success. What do you think? Is India's pace cupboard well stocked, or do they need more young talent to step up? Share your thoughts in the comments. India's fast bowling crossroads, a generation in transition and under strain. India's fast bowling dilemma, a generation in transition and under strain. India Tour of England, 2025. Akash Deep, while trying to establish himself, has struggled with fitness concerns. Copyright Getty. When Anshul Kamboj was called up to join India's test squad ahead of the Manchester Test, it was more than just a reward for his red ball potential. It was a distress signal. A nod to his rhythm, relentlessness, and good habits in the India games against England Lions, but also a symptom of a deeper issue. His call-up came after two fast bowlers picked up niggles, and a seam bowling all-rounder was ruled out. More bodies down, another name in. And another stress test for a system already stretched. At 24, Kamboj is the latest addition to an ever-growing, ever-turning queue of fast bowling hopefuls, a list that now resembles a revolving door. The cricketing logic is plain, but the injury patterns are less forgiving. And somewhere, at the BCCI's offices, this moment will demand more introspection. This wasn't meant to be a panic phase. This England tour was supposed to bring clarity, to sort the pecking order, to identify the next in line. But while the batting transitions have a semblance of progression, the tour has laid bare how thin India's fast bowling bench is once you look past the first two names on the team sheet. Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammed Siraj are both 31. For the past 3 years, they've formed the core of India's fast bowling plans, across conditions and continents. Bumrah's appearances are already carefully calibrated, his name now almost always accompanied by talk of workload and management. It's the reality of the cricket calendar, his all-format brilliance, and of an injury record beginning to stack up. With Siraj, that conversation hasn't quite begun, but it should. Since the start of 2023, he has played 24 of India's 27 tests. Only Ravindra Jadeja has bowled more deliveries in that time. At some point, Siraj too will need preservation, because right now, in England, India have needed him every single week. Mohammad Shami's return, if it comes, will be a surprise. His last test was in England, but over 2 years ago. And though there's been no formal farewell, there's also been no meaningful comeback. If this is the end, then another pillar of India's most seam-reliant era will have quietly disappeared, without a goodbye, only a gap. Of immediate attention for India though is the next group. That remains both undefined, and often injured. Akash Deep, perhaps the likeliest third quick in the current pecking order, has impressed in patches, at home and away. His battle against Steve Smith at the Gabba and his six-fair at Edgbaston have been particularly memorable. But in this short 6-month span, he's had 2 injury scares already, a worrying sign for someone only just establishing himself. Prasid Krishna has long been viewed as the long-format heir to Ishant Sharma, tall, bustling, capable of extracting steep bounce. But his body hasn't quite kept pace with the vision. At 29, with just 5 tests to his name, his stop-start career is still searching for rhythm, relevance, and now, some careful management. His most recent numbers don't flatter, especially the 5-over spell that cost him 50 against a rampaging Jamie Smith in Birmingham. But that was a short ball ploy, deployed at the captain's request with lots of runs in the bank. It was tactical, not careless, and shouldn't be reduced to statistical scorn. Kamboj's call-up to the squad comes at a time of niggles and injuries for the Indian team. Copyright Getty. Meanwhile, India have been tempted by the promise of a left-arm seamer. Since Zahir Khan's last test in 2014, they've lacked a true point of difference, someone who can offer a different angle to the batter and create roughs for an off-spinner. Arshdeep Singh has long been admired for his white ball noose, and India have hoped to translate that into the red ball domain. A stint at Kent, productive in effort, less so in returns, was part of that process. He's still learning the longer rhythm. But now, his journey too has been momentarily paused by this finger injury. Yash Dayal, in fact, was the original left-arm option. He received his maiden call-up during the Bangladesh series at the start of last season. With a stronger red ball CV than Arshdeep, his disappearance was perhaps just a reminder of how quickly the pecking order can shift. The concern is whether a pecking order even exists with all the injuries. Last year, Rohit Sharma had spoken of building a fast bowling bench. In response, India assembled a travelling pool to stay with the squad in the lead-up to the Australia tour, a reserve cast of quicks they hoped to groom into readiness. It included Mayank Yadav, whose pace turned heads, and Harshit Rana, a hit-the-deck option who could also bat at number 8. Nitish Reddy, too, was part of this push, a rare seam bowling all-rounder, albeit still a work in progress. In early 2024, the BCCI had even introduced fast bowling central contracts for the first time, a move aimed at incentivizing red ball readiness and monitoring workloads more closely. It was seen as a step toward institutionalizing the pipeline. But since then, the noise around that initiative has faded. It's unclear where that framework stands today, especially amid the current churn. Mayank's pace remains hypnotic, but his body hasn't kept up. Harshit made a memorable debut in Perth, castling Travis Head with a snorter, and stayed on for the England tour's early stages. But when a replacement was needed ahead of the 4th test, he was passed over for Kamboj. Others have come and gone. Mukesh Kumar, who played in Port of Spain, Cape Town, and Visakhapatnam, has quietly slipped out of sight. Shardul Thakur remains a plug-and-play option abroad, but more as a stopgap than a solution. India's pace cupboard isn't bare, but it does look bruised. This is no longer a golden generation seamlessly replacing itself. It's a group in flux, shaped as much by what the body allows as what the ball promises. And unless India put together a clearer plan, one that balances opportunity with protection, the churn will continue. If India are serious about sustaining a world-class fast bowling attack, those in power, selectors, coaching staff, and the board, must go beyond reacting to the next injury. They need to identify, nurture, and protect, not just the present but the next 5 years. The bodies are clearly speaking. It's time the system truly listened. Copyright CricBuzz. Tags. Mohammed Siraj reveals India's strategy for 4th Test versus England. Exclusive insights. In a thrilling revelation, Mohammed Siraj, the talented fast bowler representing Team India, has provided intriguing insights into the squad's game plan for the upcoming 4th Test against England. This match has already proven to be a captivating contest, with both teams fiercely competing and showcasing their skills, drawing significant attention from cricket enthusiasts around the globe. Siraj's comments have certainly heightened the anticipation surrounding the match, which is set to take place in Manchester. As the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy series unfolds, it has taken an exciting turn, with England currently leading the series 2-1. Team India has shown remarkable resilience and determination throughout the competition, but the English team, captained by Ben Stokes, has consistently demonstrated their superiority. With England having gained the upper hand at Lord's, the Shubman Gill-led Indian side is now focused on securing a victory to level the series once more. As the two teams prepare to clash in this crucial 4th test, Mohammed Siraj has shed light on the team's strategic approach for the match. While he refrained from divulging specific details about the playing combination, he emphasized the importance of maintaining a disciplined bowling strategy. Our bowling combination is evolving daily, but our primary objective remains the same: to bowl in the right areas, Siraj stated during the pre-match press conference, as reported by ANI. In addition to discussing the team's strategy, Siraj also addressed the injury concerns that have plagued Team India upon their arrival in Manchester. The squad has faced several setbacks, with Nitish Reddy being ruled out for the entire series due to a knee injury, and Arshdeep Singh unable to participate in the 4th test after sustaining a cut on his bowling arm. Moreover, pacer Akash Deep has also encountered an injury just before the Manchester test, which poses a potential threat to India's pace attack. During the press conference, Mohammed Siraj provided an update on Akash Deep's condition, revealing that he has suffered a groin injury and is currently under the care of the team's physiotherapist. Interestingly, Akash Deep was observed rolling his arm, which may indicate that he is fit enough to remain with the squad. As the excitement builds for this pivotal match, one can't help but wonder, will Team India manage to turn the tide and level the series, or will England continue their dominance? What are your thoughts on the team's strategy and the impact of the injuries? Share your opinions in the comments.